Hello, welcome to Community Conversations. I'm your host, KK Kaneshiro. Today we will be discussing a great opportunity for families to give their opinions about Fremont Unified's programs and services. The district's 2018 Parent Satisfaction Survey is now available online, and parents and guardians are encouraged to take a few minutes to provide essential feedback on the experiences with FUSD. This feedback will assist the district in revising its local control and accountability plan, and for the 2018-19 school year, as well as provide the districts with valuable information about parent engagement at district schools. Joining us to discuss the survey is Assistant Superintendent of Instruction, Dr. Denise Herman, and co-hosting with me tonight is Assistant Superintendent of Human Resources, Dr. Raul Zamora. Thank you so much for both of you being here. This is great.
Thank you.
So first of all, explain the history of this. I thought this was a new service that the school district was offering, but apparently it's not. So how long has this been going on?
Right, it's been going on for quite some time.
Okay.
This is my first year with the district, but I do have the luxury of looking back at past survey data,
Okay.
and it's been going on for over 5 years that I can see.
Has it been receptive by the parents?
The response
know
rate
of?
has been quite high. For last year, I believe we had about 25% of our parents completed
That's
it, which
very
for
good.
a survey
It's
is
awesome.
very good.
Yeah.
We would like more than that this
Of
year.
course.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, the response rate has been favorable. And again, the more parents we hear from, the more different voices that we can know are represented in the data.
How many questions are on this survey? Is it a long survey?
It
How
is not a
long?
long survey. It's
Okay.
comprehensive, but we work
Okay.
to keep the question number at 25.
Okay.
And it should take a parent anywhere between 7 and 12 minutes. The
Well, that's not
questions
bad.
are pretty straightforward. Some
Okay.
might give you pause to think a minute,
Right.
but most of them are general questions about your satisfaction.
And these are for parents from K through 12, right? Just not a certain...
TK through
Oh,
12.
TK.
Yes, we
Wow.
want our young parents of young students to
Okay.
respond also.
Okay. What are you hoping to get out of this survey? Do you have specific goals every year? Do you revamp the questions every year?
Right. We adjust the questions, but
Okay.
in general, there are things that we know parents have the best perspective on in terms of when their child comes home from school,
Yeah.
what's their impression of what they've learned that day. And about homework, the parent and the student are the best to give us feedback about homework. We can't know that
That's
sometimes
true.
from
Yeah.
the school perspective. So there are things that we would want to ask over time as we're making adjustments to some of our programs. We also make sure that we adjust the questions slightly if there is data that we need for any state report or anything to show that our parent engagement is
Okay.
robust and that we're including parents in decision making.
Okay. Now, the survey just went live,
Yes.
but it's February. So why take it, or why do you ask parents to take it in February as opposed to, say, June or September?
You know, that's a really good question. It is something that we try to have the survey being asked at similar times each year,
Okay.
because there's different things that go on that might elevate parent attitude towards the school or deflate it. So we have asked it within about the same 6 weeks period for the
Okay.
last several years. And the timing now corresponds to decisions that we need to make with our LCAP funding.
Okay.
So we really want to have parent voice anyhow in general
Right.
as an organization, but doing it now ensures that we have that voice to make decisions about funding for next year.
Okay.
Yeah, I also think it also provides a mid-year check, right?
Yes.
To say what have we done so far this
Oh,
school
that's
year,
true, yeah.
and then what do we need to do? And I think the best part about the instructional services department, they really look at not to be reactive, but also be proactive in this process.
Okay.
So it's a really litmus test to figure out, what's going on right now. Can you tell us?
Right.
And that really provides great feedback for our
Right.
school district.
Now, how do you get the word out to parents about this survey? Is it through School Loop? Is it a piece of paper the kids take home?
You name the method, and we are
Okay.
trying to use it. So our principals
Oh,
and
okay.
our district communications person has been wonderful about posting it on the front page of the website,
Oh, good.
putting in School Loop, putting it in school newsletters, making sure that it's available in multiple languages. So we really
smart.
have done quite an effort to make sure that every parent has access.
Okay. So, how do you formulate all the answers of the survey? Is there a team that gets together and put
Right.
this together, or?
We do have a team who, we have a community team, LCAC, who meets
Oh,
regularly.
okay.
They actually meet tonight. So the survey results actually, that's one of the audiences who receives that, and they give input. What kind of information do we need to make the best decisions about our LCAP dollars?
Okay.
So that's one source of questions. The other source is what we know about high-performing schools
Okay.
and what they do to be so successful. So we ask questions about that. How are we doing at A, B, or C? And the people who actually worked with me to craft this year's questions were our Assessment and Accountability Director, Julie
Nice,
Forbes, and our
nice.
Federal and State Director, Christy Rocha.
Okay. Now, if a parent gives you an answer and you're not quite sure what they meant, do you have an opportunity to go back to the parent and ask them, or you just take it as face value and go with it?
Well, the survey is anonymous,
Okay.
so we couldn't go back to the
Okay.
particular parent, but for each question we do provide a spot for them to add a narrative, a comment box. So we're hoping that
Somewhere you'll get
somewhere
that.
the parent will be able to help us understand if they strongly agreed with something or strongly disagreed with something, that they'll be able to provide a little context so we can follow up.
Okay. Have you noticed, because I'm trying to think, if you send all these surveys out to all the different grade levels for all these parents, is there a certain grade level that responds more so than another grade level? Like, does elementary parents respond more so than a high school parents would?
That is a really good question.
Can you determine
I
that?
don't remember
Okay.
seeing that for this data. I know in the aggregate, elementary parents tend to participate more
Yeah,
in
'cause they're
general
new.
in their PTA
Yes.
and in other things like that. So that is one of the things that I'll be able to report back to you on.
And
But
let
the
me s-
general
yeah.
trend is definitely for
Elementary.
elementary parents to take advantage more of
Right.
opportunities to communicate. But
Okay.
we know that parents of high school students have a lot of valuable feedback for us,
Yes.
especially because they've been in our system, many of them, for several years. So
Right.
they've seen some of the things that we are trying to do to improve and
Right.
could give us feedback on that, or maybe some things that they're seeing at the secondary level they would like us to consider improving.
Because I think parents have a great insight.
Mm-hmm.
May not be right or wrong, but they have a
Yeah.
great insight to what they think the school's doing and suggestions especially.
Yeah.
But the parents, I mean, they are receptive, the ones who are answering. I'm just trying to help you or think of a way that we can get more parents involved
Yes.
because I think this is so important.
Mhm.
So if you're watching, please respond.
Yes, yes.
Now, if they are watching and they
Mhm.
have a question, where can they go? Is it the Fremont Unified School District's website? They can immediately go to the survey?
Yes, it is on the front page of
Okay.
the survey.
So it's really easy.
Absolutely, in all three languages that we are providing it in, English, Spanish, and Mandarin, are
Okay.
all easily accessible on the front page. And if they would have any questions or need any assistance completing that, we would definitely be able to support them.
And how long are you going to allow the survey to be live?
Right, the window is open until February 28th, so
February
1
28th.
month.
Okay.
Yeah, it opened last
So it
week.
gives you
And
plenty of time,
Mhm.
especially with all in the holidays.
yeah, we have a
that are coming
3-day
up.
weekend coming
Right, I
up, so
know.
yeah, I think we'll probably send a reminder,
Okay.
just for those who maybe put it on the back burner, but we're really hoping for a high turnout rate.
Okay. Do you know how this all started? Did a parent in a board meeting say we would like to see a survey, or did a teacher just start this? I mean, this because I love this. I think this is fabulous information.
I think it probably goes back to the requirements from the state as far as we need a tool for parents to
Okay.
respond and get input from.
Okay.
And I think it's a really valuable tool and an opportunity
Yes.
that not everyone takes advantage of. So
Right.
again, thank you for hosting this part of it. To really engage the parent involvement, because there are also parents that attend the LCAP, right?
Yes.
Right.
And so
Right.
there's a live parent there participating,
That's
but also
great.
we have the qualitative data to come in and then reinforce what's happening out in our district.
Okay.
I don't know if you want to talk more about the structure that takes place in the participation
Right.
of the stakeholders.
Actually, during the month of February, in addition to having the survey, which everyone will have an opportunity to participate in, we also target some specific groups who have, our data shows, have students with needs. So for example, our equity team met last night. And
Nice.
so part of one of the activities they did was to go deeper into some of these questions and not just say if they agree or strongly disagree, but to offer suggestions on strategies that we could do.
Okay.
So we offer over 25 different LCAP parent engagement sessions during the
Nice.
month of February.
Nice.
We look forward to having that broad range of data back from all parents in the survey, and then some targeted qualitative with
Right.
actual conversations and
Okay.
prioritized choices.
Wow.
It's going to be a good data
That's
set.
exciting.
Mhm.
But I don't know if you can say this or answer this, but out of curiosity, have there been any answers that just totally surprised you? That, oh, this would be a great idea, or can you talk about it?
Yeah, oh, no. You know, at last night's meeting, we are blessed to have a very interesting mix of Fremont people there. One of the police officers is on our equity team.
Nice.
And
That's
it
very
was
good.
very interesting that he shared how much work their department has done into understanding youth and adolescent development. And when we were talking about interventions that could support youth in being more successful, he talked about how in his training, attendance is so important.
Yeah.
And you know, I believe that, but it was really wonderful to hear that the police department has invested in training
And
in
then
their
the voice.
officers, and then he was bringing that voice to our equity team.
Yeah.
So I think that shows how strong the community partnership can be.
Okay. So you said earlier this is your first year with us?
Yes.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Glad to have you. This is a busy school district, just so you know. I just can't. I'm so excited about this because I'm just learning about this. I think this is a fabulous tool, and I think parents need to use this. It not only benefits the school and benefits the students, it also helps if a parent has some kind of grievance, they can get it off their chest. Someone's actually listening to these survey results, which I think
Right.
is so important. And I think a lot of people think when it's a survey, no one's really going to read it. So I'll just check this and that. But I want to make sure our viewers understand
Yes.
that there are live people.
Yes.
There's a full committee that actually really take
Yes.
these answers
We
to
look
heart.
at every question, we analyze and analyze it by what you said. I wonder if there's a difference between what elementary parents said
Right.
or people in certain attendance areas, because we can disaggregate the data that way.
Okay.
So we are looking to see what trends are, where
good.
different needs
Yeah.
are emerging at grade levels or
Okay.
attendance areas, and we definitely use that information to make decisions in how we allocate our resources and where we put our staff.
Okay.
I think the part to it that you were mentioning, were we surprised by any of the responses? I think it's not necessarily surprised, but it also validates what the work we're doing
Oh, yes.
as a district.
Right.
So when we implement a program, you know, is it something? Did we hit the target? Are we reaching what we need to? And having that parent voice in there validates what we're doing.
Absolutely.
Or also it might bring up other issues or concerns that we might need to make that small modification in the implementation or program rollout. So that really also helps us as well.
Okay. Are we the only school district that does it, or do our neighbor districts do it?
I believe several other districts also participate. They may have different means of how to collect
Right.
parent input, but
They have a survey of some
Right.
sort. Because I just love this. I think this is so valuable for
Yeah.
both sides. You know. But, so, when do you start revising the questions for next year? After the answers, or do you wait till next January?
We wait until the fall
Okay.
because there can be some things that we learn about our district not only from the survey data but from feedback we get from the state in terms of
Got
our
it.
dashboard
Yeah.
that says how our students are doing overall.
Okay.
So there could be some new questions that we need to add based on an area where we've grown tremendously, and we
Yeah.
want to ask parents to maybe give us some feedback as to what they think contributed, or maybe a new area of concern
Okay.
that we want to ask a targeted question for. But again, most of the survey stays fairly consistent,
Okay.
but we do need to adjust along the way to get the data that we need.
Okay. Can you talk about past success stories from the survey that you saw this and or it validated this, or we develop a new program because of that?
well, one of the things that I'm involved is with some of the concerns that may be placed, and so it really helps us address those immediately.
Okay.
So we've been able to succeed in that portion. I think as far as the implementation of what the LCAP has done with our school district, addressing where the money goes provided from the state to
Okay.
specific students,
Yeah.
I think that really has been our success in trying to really gather the data for that to really support our students. I'm not sure if you want to maybe expand further on the EL
Yes,
piece of it.
please.
Of the
Right,
LCAP.
absolutely. So one of the areas that our district has shown the greatest improvement for one of our subgroups is English language learners.
Nice.
And for the last 3 years, our LCAP team has made investments based on feedback from parents saying,
Nice.
you know, we think we need more English language specialists. We think the curriculum needs to be increased. We want better assessment tools. And from that information of saying we see this as a need, we invested in it and our scores are going up for that subgroup. So that's exactly what we want to see happen.
Okay,
Yes.
so for anyone out there who does not know our website, can you repeat it?
You want me to repeat it?
Sure.
It's www.fremont.k12.ca.us.
And it's on the front home page. Please take this survey if you're watching us. We'd really appreciate it. Your feedback is a tremendous help to the school district. But I can't believe the show is already done. Thank you so much.
Yes.
It just flew by. From everyone here at Community Conversations, thanks for watching, and we'll see you really soon.